Hello everybody, hope you guys are enjoying your day. Today we're going to be looking at your midweek snowstorm over parts of the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast, where you are going to be expecting up to 6 inches or more of snowfall in some isolated locations over parts of the interior Northeast and parts of the Great Lakes and Midwest. And this is going to be a system that's tracking from South Dakota and tracking very far to the north, so your rain snow line is going to be suppressed far to the north, and you will have some pretty good snow rates as you do get further up to the north, where you do get that snow transitioning over, and you do actually get some snowfall over parts of the Midwest, Great Lakes, and interior Northeast. Now we're going to be also looking at my personal forecast at the end of the video, so make sure you are staying tuned all the way until the end. But let's get right into it here with the National Weather Service. We have winter weather advisories as well as winter storm warnings scattered across parts of the northern and central Rockies, as well as parts of the Cascades. We also have air quality alerts there for South Dakota, there for Kansas, Oklahoma, and a little bit the northernmost part of Texas. And then we also have that for parts of the Gulf Coast of Louisiana and Texas, as well as northern South Carolina, Georgia, and Alabama, all seeing some air quality alerts as well. We also have these winter weather advisories for this snowstorm that's going to be impacting parts of the Midwest and Great Lakes and Northeast. And we do already have those winter weather advisories posted. It's going to be a fairly quick moving system, so you're going to have to get those pretty intense snowfall rates in order to really get anything to really accumulate, and you will actually get some pretty good snowfall rates, and we're going to show you what the European model is showing, and that'll give you a pretty good representation of when you should be expecting your snowfall and rainfall. So let's start off here with the surface analysis map from the Weather Prediction Center. We have a low pressure sat over parts of southwest South Dakota, and it's going to be moving pretty much north and east, kind of like this, and moving very far to the north. Therefore, you're going to have to get some elevation in order to actually get any snowfall. So your snowfall is going to be pretty far to the north, pretty much north of this line is where you're going to be getting your snowfall, because you would be in the warm sector of this system because you are to the south of this storm. You see, this storm is going to be tracking pretty much to the north and east, just like this, and it is going to be bringing rain to the south, snow to the north, of course. So you are gonna have to get elevation in order to get any really snowfall if you are south of this system. And really, the only places that are gonna see snowfall out of this are areas in the upper Midwest, like Wisconsin, Minnesota, maybe a little bit of Iowa, and then getting into Michigan, as well as parts of the Adirondacks, the White Mountains, and Green Mountains, and moving through parts of interior Maine. Really, those are the only areas that are gonna see snowfall out of this event. So it's gonna be a very isolated event, and it's gonna be for those higher elevations. So let's time it out here with your European model. We have this system, just some unorganized showers. Now this is really your system right here. This is your northern stream of the jet stream, and this is going to be moving to the east, pretty much straight to the east. And this system is coming out of the south, bringing in all that Gulf moisture. And this is really a very unorganized system that's going to eventually reform as it hits around the Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota area. That's when it's really going to start to get its act together. Now this would be by Monday afternoon, and now getting into Tuesday morning. You see, that's what I was talking about, heavy snowfall rates as you get into southern Wisconsin, and you see that rain snow line pretty far to the north for a system that's tracking through mid-February. So now as we get into your Tuesday morning, it's starting to move past the Great Lakes. So you've only been in snowfall for maybe 12 hours by this point, and it's already moving out 12 or less hours really. But you are going to have intense snowfall rates, maybe an inch per hour in some areas. That is definitely going to be able to put down a good half a foot in some areas. So let's continue this through Tuesday night. You see, really, only the higher elevations as you get to the Green and White Mountains and the Adirondacks is really the only areas that you're seeing that snowfall. And that red line right here, this is your rain snow line. So look how far north that is. And as we continue this, you start to see the only areas seeing snowfall are interior Maine, interior New Hampshire, and other than that, by Wednesday morning, it's pretty much wrapping up, and then you just get some back end lake effect. Now, also something, I'll roll this back. Notice how parts of the south central and southeast have been covered in rainfall, and you're gonna have this stalled cold front with this system that's kind of dragging along. I'll do it in blue. It's going to be a stalled cold front really that's over parts of the southeast, and that's going to be allowing for the shower activity that's actually setting up over parts of the southeast. So that is mainly not going to be associated with this midweek winter storm. But definitely, I wanted to point that out because I do have a couple viewers from the south, so I do wanna point that out that you will have some rainfall along with this system. That this system is going to be dragging along a cold front, but I'm not going to be taking all that rainfall into account with my snowfall forecast just because it is not really the main system. So let's look at your total precipitation out of this event, and this is only from this event that's passing through. So you're only getting about an inch of rainfall at the most in the southern states, but really, other than that, it's under about a half an inch for many of us in the eastern United States. Now, we also have some quite a bit of snowfall. Now, in these blues are about 2 to 6 inches, and in the purples are about 6 to 10 inches. And then as you get to the pinks, which you don't have any of the pinks showing up, but if you were in the pinks, you were 10 plus inches. So you see, we have this snow band, according to the European models, setting up really pretty far to the north over parts of Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, through parts of the northern half of Michigan and the upper peninsula of Michigan as well, and into upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and getting into Maine. And as you get into Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, you could actually pick up a couple areas seeing over 6 inches of snowfall added on to what you already have on the ground. So let's get into my snowfall and rainfall forecast as well as my storm track here. And I like to do these for every single storm so that you get a good idea of how the storm is actually going to play out. Now, this is going to be a system tracking from today, which would be the 17th through the 19th here. And it's currently over parts of southwest South Dakota as we looked at the surface map, and it's going to be tracking again pretty much to the east, and then it's going to take a northeast trajectory as you get into Wisconsin and Michigan. Now, this is going to be again tracking right along the Nebraska South Dakota border through the Iowa and Minnesota border, and then just to the north of the Illinois Wisconsin border and through parts of northernmost Michigan. Now, let's get into your snowfall layers. Now, we have under an inch here anywhere in this light blue, and you're going to have again that northern piece of the jet stream or that northern piece of this system that's going to be tracking through this area, and that's why you have actually some additional totals getting through northern Minnesota and North Dakota as well as the UP of Michigan. We have under an inch there for much of the state of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and through much of the state of Michigan, upstate New York, Pennsylvania, through parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, even a little bit there of western Massachusetts where you get some elevation, and then through all of Maine, pretty much seeing under an inch of snowfall. Now, let's add your next layer here, 1 to 3 inches of snowfall. So this is where I'm expecting at least an inch of snowfall here over parts of northern Minnesota, the UP of Michigan, through Wisconsin, southern Minnesota as well. You have this little hole in the middle of Minnesota. Basically, the central part of Minnesota is going to be seeing some lighter accumulations there. Northern Michigan as well as northern upstate New York, much of Vermont and New Hampshire, and into much of Maine, seeing 1 to 3 inches of snowfall. Now, we even have a 3 to 6 inch area here, and this is for the eastern half of parts of Wisconsin, and then for much of the UP of Michigan and the northernmost part of Michigan. We also have that for parts of the northern part of upstate New York, northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, and into the northern half of Maine, where I am expecting over 3 inches of snowfall to actually accumulate. And there were a couple of reports, according to some of these models, saying up to 10 inches in those higher elevations, those very high elevations. So definitely, it's not out of the question that you see over 6 inches in some isolated locations. But for many of you, I'm thinking more on the line of 4 or 5 inches. But as you get into the higher terrain of the interior Northeast, you could definitely see a couple of reports of 6, 7, 8, 9 inches of snowfall. Now let's add your rainfall layers. We have under an inch of rainfall here for much of the area south of the system, and you're really going to get that stalled out cold front that's going to last for a couple more extra days over parts of the southeast, but that won't be really with this system that's tracking through the upper Midwest. So that's not associated with this event. So if you do get additional rainfall, I'm not taking that into account with this forecast. I'm only taking into account what's going to happen through Wednesday night. Now, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall here, over an inch of rainfall expected anywhere in this area through eastern Texas, northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, through northern Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, and through much of South Carolina, and then into the southernmost part there of North Carolina. I am expecting 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, and really I think it's going to be on the order of about an inch to an inch and a half of rainfall at most, and you could get some additional rainfall again with that stalled cold front. Now that is going to wrap the video. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turn on notifications as I do make these videos daily. Anyways, guys, that was Eli the Weather Guy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.